I don't have that much to say. So no, here.
You're run out.
I will run out. My name's Chris Williams. I'm the plant manager here at Little Sioux. We started grinding corn in April of 2003 at a 40 million gallon rate for ethanol. Expanded to 52 million gallon rate in 2005. 2008, we took the expansion to 92 million gallons. After our last big expansion, we tacked on little pieces here and there to take us up to 122 million gallon rate. And currently, when these two fermenters off to our right go online next week, we will be at 135 million gallon rate. Everyone asks what's that ceiling? I think 150 is where our permit's up to, but I think if we can do a few more little tweaks here and there, we can take it up to 150, but we're still working on that kind of stuff. There's 6 fermenters off to our right here. All the fermenters off here. We got 9 fermenters. They take 8 hours to fill a fermenter at about a rate of 1,500 gallons a minute. So it takes about 8 hours to fill one. They sit for 52 to 55 hours for that alcohol, that yeast turns that starch into ethanol. Then we ship it over to distillation. We start distilling it. So from the time we grind that corn to the time it hits, we're looking at about a day and a half of time before we turn it into 200 proof alcohol. Off to our left-hand side over here is the DDG barn. After we distill the alcohol out of it, you got the fiber and the starch is gone. You got the fiber and the protein left over. We grind that down, store it in this barn, and it's loaded on the rail cars for animal feed. Off to our left-hand side over here also, our original 2 silos, they're both 200,000 bushel apiece. That we added in 2005, the other 2 silos, 500,000 bushel apiece. And up in front of us are the 2 steel beds, they're 700,000 bushel apiece. So right now we've got 2.9 million bushel storage on hand. That's enough to grind 23 days worth of product without bringing any corn in. Off to our right over here is our dryer house. That's where the dryers sit when we dry that corn down after we distill the alcohol out of it. It's going to get really windy around this. There's a small percentage that goes up in the truck, and it's all E85. There's a small E85 market that we are getting right now. Everything else goes out by rail. Those rail cars will hold 28,800 gallons of ethanol. We got 4 loadouts. Right now at our production rate, we're doing about 12.5 cars. Also, in our corn receiving, our old corn receiving lines, so we got 2 pits there. It takes about 45 minutes to dump a car in there. Door number 3 is where we load all the DDG, and we also will load rail cars and trucks on door number 3. As we come up here, you're going to see where we're going to go through the new scale house, but off on our left. When we first opened the plant, we had 3 rail spurs here. It was enough to hold about 95, 100 cars somewhere in there. With the expansion, we're doing unit trains of 80 cars. So it will hold 2 unit trains here. Another 50 to 70 cars depending on the staff in there. So silver hoppers with DDG and some single cars can get stacked on here too. We have a lot of rail here to hold stuff. As we go through this new dump up here, this is the new dump that was installed this last fall. It's got a big bin underneath it. It takes about a minute to dump a truck of corn in there. As fast as they can open the handle up, it's out of there. They get back, weigh it, and get back off. So they're weighing on and off the scale right here. The grain probe's up in front of us, so it's quick.
Realize my wife will come in here backwards.
gallons worth of storage out there. That's enough to get in a whole 20, 23 days worth of alcohol coming out fast we're running. It's a lot of storage, right? But you look at 2 years ago when we had all the rail issues we had with the cold weather and the bad storms. A lot of plants that don't have that kind of storage are shutting down. We're able to pound right on through it. They bring a train in, we can load a train out in a day, get the tanks back down, and turn it back over. So that storage has really helped us out, 2 winters ago. Now we thought last winter was going to be another jam again, but it didn't happen. But we got a lot of storage out here. Also in this tank farm is where we keep the 190 and the 200 proof alcohol. What happens in the process is we're able to distill it through the columns enough to get to 190 proof. But to get to 200 proof, you got to take it through one more step, which is the mole sieve process. It's a process that's got these little beads in it. It's pressurized. So you take that vapor and you shove that alcohol, the water molecule in the vapor, but it's not large enough to let the alcohol molecule in it. So the alcohol passes on through. We'll then cool that alcohol back off to and then load it and put it back in the tank farm. I didn't mention, every now and then, especially a couple years ago, there was a European market for alcohol. We did hit that European market just right where we made a really nice premium. The European stuff is not the nature. It's being used as another nature tank. Just put it in the tank and load it on and go. Most of our alcohol, all alcohol is going east right now. Georgia, North Carolina, some to New York, some to Chicago. But every now and then we're going to send something across the pond. We'll go to Dallas, Texas, we'll load on a barge and take it from there.
Is that another ethanol plant out there, or is that the co-op?
That's the co-op.
That's the co-op. That's where your corn comes from.
So these tanks sit empty a lot of the time then?
2 of these tanks are probably sitting empty most of the time. I mean, they all got a bottom in them because they got flood and rust, but we're only really utilizing 2 tanks right now. Under normal operation, this is enough tank for 2 tanks. But we don't load out on the weekends, so we build that inventory up, and then they come in and pound out rail cars.
Are you willing to talk about the settling pond again?
Yeah, so we went by over there on the left-hand side. It was an iron settling pond. All of our water is coming out of the ground, right? Well water come out of the ground. Well, it's really rich in iron. We can't put that back, and we can't discharge it to the ditch. So we have a settling pond out there. That water comes through, settles out, that iron settles out in the water, then the discharge water from the RO system then goes on out to the ditch and through the system.
So do you have a market for the iron?
No market for the iron. We'll pump it out.
You'll find it eventually. That's American engineering.
Yeah.
Let the wine happen.
Yeah.
It's an idea.
Yeah, let them figure out who to shoot on the iron.
Off to our right then is one of our cooling towers. You'll see the expansion. This is the expansion cell, the 5th cell that just got added on. Isn't operational yet. There's also a cooling tower up on the hill up there for fermentation. That 5th tower, or that 5th fan is operational. It was operational last week. Because this product, we got to heat up the starch, to get it to enlarge enough to get the enzyme into the heat up, and you got to cool down the yeast, and you got to heat it back up, you got to cool back off. So this water is getting pumped through the system at 15,000 gallons a minute and just cooling off the product and evaporating that heat back out the system. Also up here on the right is our wet cake pad, modified pad. This is all local market stuff. You got a shelf life of 7 to 10 days depending on how hot it is. Pad's empty on the weekends. We try to keep it empty in case we have an upset and oops. All of a sudden, the pad's not, the pad's really designed small enough for a 40 million gallon plant. We expand and expand, but the pad doesn't grow. So. Off to our right is also another energy center, our original energy center that we had back in 2003. Then up here, as we get past the building, you'll see this tall tank, silver tank here. It's got number 1, number 2 by the doorway. That's our corn oil tank. We started with the 2nd plant in the country to use corn oil extraction back in 2005. The 1st plant in the country to fully automate that first skid. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into that. Right now, we're currently doing 0.8 pounds out of a bushel of corn for corn oil. That's going off the biodiesel and animal feed. Really a neat product. It's going out here at 28 cents a pound instead of 6 cents a pound. Yeah, our new corner. This is where we're going to start loading out the corn oil. It's kind of little building houses our chiller. We're not running the chiller today, but when it gets hot, we run down to a certain temperature. So we run a chiller on our fermenters that help keep the yeast cool. Here's Bob with the brains behind the operation, our production manager. Where are you going? Must be taking a break.
The mash is put in there, and then water and yeast, right?
The mash is already in slurry form when it comes there. So what goes in there is an enzyme, some nitrogen for the yeast, and the yeast go in there.
And where's the slurry made?
The slurry is made in the first tank up front. So we bring that ground corn across, we add the water and the enzyme to it, and heat it up to 185 degrees. And then that the starch starts breaking in the sugar. Yeah. And there's a course of where it sits throughout. It's got to stay at that temperature for 3 hours as it sits there, and it starts converting the starch into sugar, and then we cool it down and put it in the fermenters. We do both. Yep. We just bought some DDG cars, so we leased some of the alcohol cars. We're doing a little bit of both. Doug could probably answer that better than I can.
He says yeah.
Good answer. Yeah.
How many employees?
Right now we have 46 employees. We opened up with 35 and then with the expansions, but it's really an automated system. There's always 4 guys here 24/7, 365. We do take a shutdown in the fall and a shutdown in the spring, but there's 46 of us, and that's what operates from the front office all the way to guys like me cutting the grass. So works out good. Shutdowns for maintenance. Yeah, we do a shutdown in the fall, shutdown in spring maintenance.
4 days each.
4 days. Yeah, you try to swing it in 3 days. With all the projects going on and the large expansions, this will be another 4 days. We got to do some plate pack